I'm Roger.
And I'm Anna.
And today we're going to show you a gorgeous spring lunch idea.
Or brunch idea, if you'd rather have it a bit earlier.
So this is our version we'd like to show you this morning.
So a really healthy alternative, and also taking advantage of asparagus.
So the first thing we need to do is take our asparagus and trim off this hard end here, which is a bit tough to eat. And the best way to do that is to give it a snap, and you hear that beautiful crunch. That's nice fresh asparagus. And then, as you can see here, I've decided, because they're a bit long to get into my pot, I'm just trimming them all on the diagonal about halfway along. They'll also be a bit easier to serve on the plate and eat later on. Now if they're a bit fat, like this one here is slightly fat, I'm going to cut it lengthways right through the middle so that it'll cook evenly along with these slightly thinner. Into the boiling water, and we'll leave that for about 1.5–2 minutes just so it softens on the outside.
I've been chopping up a few mushrooms here into quarters, probably about 5 mushrooms per person. So we've got 5 mushrooms that have been sliced into quarters there. We're going to very gently saute the mushrooms. When the mushrooms are starting to go nice and brown on some of the, they don't have to be completely cooked through, but you can see that they're just starting to go brown around the edges. And then we're going to add about a couple of tablespoons of soy sauce and some balsamic vinegar. So we'll put those aside. To start with, I'll take the top of the tomato out and then slice the tomato, about 1 centimetre wide slices of tomato, and chop it into cubes.
You're doing a great job there, aren't you?
I think we need to go and get a little bit of coriander from the garden.
I'm just going to dash outside.
We've got some beautiful
coriander.
We've got some beautiful coriander growing just outside. Just that combination of greens and eggs and tomatoes is such a classic combination.
Hey, my asparagus is just about ready, so I'm sorry I can't cut your coriander for you, Anna. I've got to get this asparagus out. Just get tongs.
You've got to be quick.
Scoop it out.
When it's ready, it's ready.
So that's just enough to soften the outside of our asparagus, and I'm going to put that straight under running water.
When I was young, I thought that the smell of coriander was like green shield beetles, those smelly little bugs that sometimes come into the garden and munch on green things. The smell really didn't appeal to me at all. But then I got into eating Thai food as I was an adult and have really come to enjoy the flavour, and that's going to mingle with the acid flavour in the tomatoes and some olive oil and be absolutely delicious. About a couple of tablespoons of olive oil into the bowl, and some salt and pepper. Those flavours are really coming together. I can smell them from here. A dash of hot sauce, spicy hot chili sauce, and then leave that to marinate for a couple of moments until we're ready to serve.
Instead of hollandaise sauce, we're making an orange mayonnaise. 1 orange. And I trim off most of the peel, but not all of it. That white pith in there is not only good for us, it's also going to be helpful for the texture of this sauce. I've got my mustard here. This is homemade mustard, which I'm going to have to tell you about some other time. And there, about a teaspoon of that mustard, our orange, and then about 1/4 cup of this lovely extra virgin olive oil. Now it seems like a lot of oil going in here, but if you've ever made hollandaise, you'd know there's a lot of butter in there. If you don't know how much butter in there is in hollandaise, you'd be horrified if you found out. I can tell you. So add a little bit of sea salt as well. Cider vinegar, just the sharpness of the vinegar cuts through that oil that's in there, and it's a great combination with our eggs. So that's it. Put the top on this little blender and whiz it up. Look at that colour. Now, all we need to do, thanks to teamwork, is cook our eggs and we're going to be ready to eat breakfast.
And we need to make some toast. So I'm going to cut a good slice of that buckwheat and cornbread. And then we'll pop it in the toaster. Turn it up nice and high. You might find that some of the whole grain breads need a little bit longer in the toaster, and we'll leave that to crisp up.
How to cook poached eggs without getting them stuck to the bottom and so that they hold together. Now one key is a little bit of salt in the water, which we already have because we cooked the asparagus. The other is a little bit of cider vinegar. There we go. I'm going to pop in about a tablespoon of that. Bit more than a tablespoon.
Now, I've always been very impressed at how chefs manage to get the eggs on your eggs Benedict or your eggs Florentine looking so beautifully well formed.
Here's the trick. Here we go. A slotted spoon in the water, and we twirl the water around so it's moving, and you're creating a little whirlpool in there, which when we drop the egg in, the egg won't stick to the bottom and the white will gather around the egg yolk and form a beautifully shaped poached egg. So here we go. I've got the water moving. Put the egg in. And one more. There we go. Once the eggs are in there, just give that water a little helping hand to keep moving around. You want the water to be just simmering, not boiling. If they're boiling hard, they'll start breaking up again. What you want is just a slight, hardly even a bubble coming to the surface of the water, but still really hot. So we'll leave that for 3 or 4 minutes, depending on how hard you want your eggs. Meanwhile, we'll get our toast out of the toaster, set up the plate, and be all ready for the eggs.
Oh, lovely and hot. So instead of butter, we're going to use a little drizzle of olive oil, spears of asparagus onto the plate. Look at those beautiful caramelized mushrooms, gorgeous colour. We're going to add some of that salsa, chunky tomato salsa, gorgeous.
Yeah. Lovely.
Look at that.
There's our sauce.
That is absolutely beautiful.
And isn't that a gorgeous dish?
So your friends are going to love it, your family's going to love it, and your body's going to love it. It's going to feel so much happier and healthier.
Here's a gorgeous spring brunch idea to make for your lover.
Or for your very good friends. Or for your very good friends. Have a wonderful Sunday or Saturday brunch and get into that asparagus because it's really beautiful in springtime.